It's not easy to become a billionaire. The 3 Comma Club has only 2,153 members, but the people who top Forbes' 2019 World's Billionaire list made their money in a variety of ways, from selling Apple Glass smartphone screens to building a scaffolding business. So how do these wealthy individuals become so wealthy in the first place? Well, there is the classic story of rags to riches in a few of the cases. However, some have simply fallen into a life of luxury, it appears, without any ease or hassle. In today's video, we'll explore how the rich have so much money, along with conspiracy theories that are just completely crazy and some that are not. Stay tuned. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos that we post. How the rich have so much money. Conspiracy theories that are just utterly crazy. A flood of hazardous conspiracy theories has swept the globe. The odd QAnon delusional, for example, claims that a global child sex trafficking ring is being run by liberal, Satan-worshipping pedophiles, and that their conspiracy will be exposed by President Donald Trump on a day of reckoning, including mass arrests. This bizarre mass illusion isn't the only one that has infected millions of individuals all across the world. The Plandemic conspiracy video went viral on social media earlier this year, spreading misinformation about COVID-19 and falsely claiming that it was a fraud devised by a big industry to profiteer by selling mass vaccines. The Rothschild family conspiracy. The Rothschild family is the most well-known banking dynasty in modern European history. Mayer Amschel Rothschild, the family patriarch, established his first banking business in Frankfurt, Germany in the late 18th century. His sons turned the bank into an international conglomerate, and the Rothschilds were able to exert influence over their respective economies thanks to their enormous fortune. In the 1980s, one Rothschild loan paid off French war indemnities, while another helped the British government to become the largest stakeholder in the Suez Canal Company. The Rothschild family has been the target of conspiracy theories for more than 2 centuries. These beliefs take several forms, such as asserting that the family controls the world's wealth and financial institutions, or encouraging or discouraging states from fighting one another. Niall Ferguson, a historian, wrote in response to this and other similar viewpoints, states in the 18th century would have not needed to issue bonds if they did not have to fight wars. War, on the other hand, has a tendency to depress the price of existing bonds by increasing the chance that a debtor state may default on its interest payments in the case of defeat and territorial losses. The Rothschilds had developed from merchants to fund managers by the middle of the 19th century, meticulously tending to their own huge portfolio of government bonds. They stood to lose more than they gained from the fight now that they had made their money. By casting their financial weight behind Britain, the Rothschilds had dictated the fate of the Napoleonic Wars. They now be forced to watch from the sidelines. Anti-Semitic prejudice and related anti-Semitic canards are the source of many conspiracy theories regarding the Rothschild family. The Bush family secrets. We have all heard of the Bush family. If you haven't, then you surely know of at least US President George W. Bush. Well, the Bush family is often regarded as one of the wealthiest families in the world, and along with this comes many conspiracies and how they managed to maintain their extraordinary wealth. Russ Baker's book, Family of Secrets, is a contentious one. The book, which was published in 2008 by Bloomsbury Press, details alleged ties between the Bush family and the Central Intelligence Agency. The book claims that President George H.W. Bush was involved in the Watergate crisis and John F. Kennedy's assassination. After reading a claim that George H.W. Bush couldn't recall where he was on November 22, 1963, Baker became interested in conspiracy theories surrounding the killing of John F. Kennedy. He accuses the Bush family of corruption in the book, linking them to the United States' participation in World War II, the founding of the CIA, John F. Kennedy's assassination, and the Watergate scandal. According to Baker, the first President Bush began working for the CIA as a teenager and was later involved in a plot to assassinate Kennedy that included his father, Prescott Bush, Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson, CIA Director Alan Dulles, Cuban and Russian exiles and immigrants, and a number of Texas oilmen. He also names the Washington Post's Bob Woodward as an intelligence agent who conspired with John Dean to assassinate President Richard Nixon for rejecting the oil depletion allowance. According to the book, George H.W. Bush's roommate at Phillips Academy was George D. Mohrenschild's nephew, and Bush and D. Mohrenchild eventually became friends in Dallas. D. Mohrenchild became friends with Lee Harvey Oswald in 1962. Baker also draws a link between the Bush administration and the Watergate scandal. He portrays Watergate as a well-choreographed farce aimed to bring down President Richard Nixon, not as a ham-handed act of political espionage. espionage. Real conspiracies on why the wealthy are so wealthy and how they stay this way. One of the most dangerous consequences of these fictional conspiracy theories is that they serve to divert attention away from the real conspiracies that are systematically harming billions of people around the world and destroying the living earth, and if indeed left unchecked, may bring our entire civilization to its knees. These are the conspiracies that everyone should be aware of. They are real, unlike the QAnon and the plandemic crap. Despite the fact that the facts about them are out in the open, these deadly conspiracies continue to operate in plain sight, wreaking havoc as millions of people's attention is distracted to toxic fictions, turning the world into a giant marketplace to benefit the wealthy and elite. In 1947, as the world was recovering from the devastation of World War II, a group of free market ideologues gathered in a posh Swiss resort to form the Mont Pelerin Society, an organization dedicated to propagating neoliberalism's ideology around the globe. At the time, their ideas that free market should rule nearly every element of society, that restrictions should be eliminated, and that individual liberty should take precedence over all other concerns of fairness, equity, or collective welfare were regarded as extreme. They meticulously built their plot for global dominance over 3 decades, backed by affluent benefactors, constructing networks of academics, bus routes, and other infrastructure. Every time a new crisis of their own occurred, such as the Great Recession of 2008, they took advantage of the chaos to double down on their power and extend their reach even further, bringing market ideology into previously untouchable domains such as education, law enforcement, and wilderness preserves. The neoliberal plot has succeeded in shifting vast sums of money to the ultra-wealthy. With the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, this conspiracy has discovered another way to siphon money from the majority of society and place it in the hands of a select few. While 200,000 Americans have perished from the coronavirus and more than 50 million have lost their jobs in the United States since the pandemic began, the combined income of the country's billionaires has increased by 29% to $3.8 trillion. Jeff Bezos could pay $105,000 to each Amazon employee and still be as wealthy as he was before the coronavirus. The conspiracy to grow the global economy indefinitely while killing most of life on Earth. The World Wildlife Fund recently released a bombshell report demonstrating a terrible 68% worldwide decline in animal populations in the last 50 years in hardly a noticed footnote to the daily headlines. Even more heartbreaking data, such as the 84% reduction in amphibians, reptiles, and fishes, or the 95% decline in animal populations in South America, are hidden behind this depressing news. 3/4 of the Earth's surface has been taken for human use, whether as farming, concrete, or reservoirs. Many of the world's major rivers, such as the Ganges and the Yangtze and Nile, no longer reach the sea, and 3/4 of rivers and lakes are used for crop or livestock development. Half of the world's forests and wetlands have vanished, with the Amazon rainforest alone losing an acre per second. Meanwhile, the world's gross domestic product is expected to nearly triple by the middle of the century, by which time 5 billion people will be facing water shortages. 95% of the world's arable land will have been degraded, and the ocean will be filled with more plastic than fish. Leading researchers predict that half of the world's estimated 8 million species will be gone or on the verge of extinction by the end of the century, unless humanity changes its ways. A rising number of analysts fear that these atrocities, together with climate change, will lead to the downfall of modern civilization. Our society's fixation with economic growth as the main criterion for assessing success is at the root of this mad dash to disaster. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about how the rich have become so rich, with some conspiracies that don't seem to be very credible, along with some of the real reasons why the rich and wealthy stay so powerful against the mass majority of the population. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.